This month is packed with so much horror and thriller content, you won't believe what's on this list. And stay tuned because at the end I have a little bit of a bone to pick with a upcoming horror movie, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Kicking off with River of Blood, this psychological horror thriller follows 4 kayakers who take the wrong turn and find themselves in a jungle inhabited by cannibals. While the cinematography looks kinda slick, the characters look a little bit stock standard in this one, but if you're looking for a straight up survival horror, it may be worth a watch. Check this one out on the 1st. You can rent it on VOD platforms like Apple TV, Plex, and Prime Video. But I do promise this is the most straightforward film on this list today, so let's kick up that originality dial to the max. The A-Frame is a horror sci-fi thriller about a quantum physicist who attempts to create a machine that will open up a portal to another universe. But in this quest to prove the machine's efficiency, he discovers something else, something that could change humankind, a cure for cancer. Now he needs to test his theory on real-life subjects. This indie horror has a very unique premise, and the visuals and acting in the trailer are extremely compelling. It seems like a very pointed story with a lot to say. I'm really keen to check this one out from the 5th on VOD platforms. Found footage fans lock in. The Sleep Stalker hits VOD platforms on the 5th and follows an influencer couple who buys an old home to remodel for DIY content. But soon the husband's sleepwalking turns violent and they're forced to investigate his psychological past and why it may be triggered by their new home. This film would have gone off in the mid-2000s, especially with the security camera kind of paranormal activity moments. Will it work as well in 2025? We'll have to watch it to find out. Wednesday is back for season 2. I can't believe it's been 3 years since the first season aired. Now Wednesday Addams returns to Nevermore Academy for her 2nd year, facing new challenges while opening up old wounds. Season 2 launches on Netflix on the 6th. Time for another sci-fi horror. This one is called Sight. While surveying an abandoned military test site, a man has a terrifying encounter, leaving him changed forever. He begins to suffer from eerie visions and unsettling fragments of the past that bleed into his everyday life and interactions. Now he races to unravel the mystery behind where it all began before it destroys everything. Check it out from the 8th. I heard a bit of buzz about our next direct horror release. I'm really curious to see why this one didn't get a theatrical release because it looks very chilling. Shaman follows a missionary family who travels to rural Ecuador to convert a remote community. But the tables turn when a demonic spirit threatens their own, and now they must listen to the locals in order to survive. This is a religious horror film with a twist, and by this trailer, it looks like it's going for pure scares and terror. The Occupant is another sci-fi horror thriller. In this one, we follow Abby, who needs money to help save her sister's life with a possible experimental treatment. Putting it all on the line, she takes a job as a consulting geologist for a uranium mine. But things go awfully wrong and she finds herself stranded. Now she must survive in a harsh climate, but something much worse is on the horizon. Reviews call this film both thrilling and deeply moving, and the trailer looks rather unique. I wonder what surprises await us. Check it out on the 8th. I love the poster for Birthright, but is this just another straightforward pregnancy horror? Well, this one does have a little bit of an edge because it's labeled as a folk horror. We follow Ren, a pregnant woman who leaves the city after she inherits a home from her estranged aunt. But this home comes at a karmic cost when she begins to learn the dark truth behind the town it's built in. Mystery thriller Dead Letter Blues is set in a small town that is rattled by the mysterious death of a local legend who was found in the woods. Now Father Moss, a priest with a loose grip on faith, you know that old chestnut, he uncovers haunting parallels between this tragedy and his own nightmares. A priest with an eye patch taking down evil in a twisted crime investigation thriller? Let's go, August 8th. Alien Earth touches down on the 12th. The 8-episode series will have 2 episodes at first, then it will move to an episode 1-episode-a-week format. The story surrounds a mysterious space vessel that crash lands on Earth. Now a group of tactical soldiers will discover the planet's greatest threat. This one looks so fun and so beautiful. I'm really excited to see how the TV format works for this kind of story. And just an FYI, this series takes place in 2120, so 27 years after Prometheus, if you were curious. If your country doesn't have access to Hulu, you'll be able to find this one on Disney+. Next, Netflix crime thriller Night Always Comes hits streaming this month. The movie follows Lynette, played by Vanessa Kirby. Lynette is a flawed yet determined anti-hero who embarks on a dangerous one-night odyssey through Portland's criminal underbelly in a desperate attempt to save her family the only way she knows how. The film is based on the best-selling novel of the same name, and it looks like a thrilling time crunch story about desperation which aims to have you on the edge of your seat. Check this one out from the 15th. I'm really excited to talk about this next one because it is produced by filmmaking duo Justin and Aaron Moorhead, who are known for their distinct sci-fi style and unique premises. Now Peter Cillia sits in the writer-director chair for Descendent, a story about a troubled school guard who witnesses a bizarre phenomenon in the night sky, and soon he realizes that this event has changed his mind in unimaginable ways. This sci-fi thriller looks so creepy. I love watching indie films like this really late at night. I can't wait to check this one out from the 15th. Okay, one for you sickos. Inspired by the deepest parts of the dark web, Custom is a new psychological horror where we follow a pair of struggling art house adult filmmakers who encounter a client who is offering them a life-changing amount of money to perform a strange ritual. Get ready for a taboo, twisted story. I'm also really excited because this one stars Abigail Hardingham, who was brilliant in the underrated horror indie Nina Forever. Custom will be available only in the UK and North America from August the 19th. Comedy thriller Meanie, starring Samara Weaving, touches down on Hulu this month. Here we follow a reformed teenage getaway driver who is dragged back into her old ways after given an offer she can't refuse. I thought fans of the Scream Queen would be keen to hear about this one, which you'll be able to check out on Hulu from the 22nd and likely on Disney Plus in other countries. It looks like a lot of bloody fun. We're Not Safe is the story of a distraught woman who has been missing but reappears carrying a disturbing story. But she's not out of the woods just yet, as a dark presence has followed her back. As tensions rise, she must help navigate a series of unexpected events to ensure her survival in an increasingly hostile environment. I know that this sounds very vague. The trailer was as well, but I saw a lot of comments with people very curious about this one, so I assumed you guys would be too. Check it out from the 22nd. I thought I'd throw in a really cute comedy crime thriller. This is one I'm definitely going to be checking out, The Thursday Murder Club, and this stars Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, and Ben Kingsley. The series follows a group of retirees who spend their time solving cold cases just for fun. It looks like a cozy, charming murder mystery where we watch these colorful characters get mixed up in no good. You can check this one out on Netflix from the 29th. Next, something a little bit different. McKenna Grace stars in this dark drama thriller as Spider, a young girl who must hide her mother's fatal overdose from the town due to fears that the foster system will separate her and her younger sister. Now their lives spiral out of control when outsiders threaten to expose the truth. The film is directed by Dan Kay, but it also stars Dacre Montgomery and Jesse Williams. The movie will have a limited theater release on the 8th, followed by a wide digital release on the 29th. And for cinema releases, Strange Harvest will finally get a release in US cinemas on the 8th of August, although it's not projected to be released worldwide until later in the year. I was lucky enough to see this one already, and it is worth a watch if you're a fan of found footage. It's a mockumentary crime horror that follows a pair of detectives who hunt down the clues of a very unique murderer. Of course, Weapons will be released in cinemas as well this month. I am so excited for this one, and I will be reviewing. It is the story of a group of children who mysteriously disappear overnight. I'm trying not to look too much into that one because I want to go in blind. Trust will get a limited cinema release for those lucky enough to catch it. This one, starring Sophie Turner, is about a Hollywood star who hides out in a remote cabin only to become trapped in a deadly game of betrayal. Witchboard will get a US cinema release. This is one that we have waited for so long. It's been hung up by a lot of production issues, including strikes, and it's a remake of the 1986 film of the same name. And another film that is also a remake and has been in limbo for a long time is Toxic Avenger, and that will be released in some countries this August. I expect that a digital release will follow very soon after this one, and it has such a stacked cast. I can't wait until it's finally set free for us. And a film that you probably haven't heard of yet that I think you should keep your eyes peeled for is Went Up the Hill. This is a New Zealand horror drama thriller starring Dacre Montgomery and Vicky Creeps. The movie focuses on a son who attends his estranged mother's funeral and meets her partner, her widow, and there they share a bond because something follows them home. The cinematography for this one looks absolutely haunting and beautiful. And then finally, and I have a bone to pick with this one, we have Hell House LLC Lineage. This will have a cinema run in America only starting on the 20th of August, and it won't be available to the rest of the world until October when it will be on Shudder. But it's not only confining itself to one country, it's also changing its format completely. Because the new entry for this series will not be found footage. I have followed this series all the way through. I did a breakdown of all of the films if you want to check it out here, and I am a fan. I think that this is a very interesting franchise because at first glance, it looks like it's all out for the common scares, the jump scares, the clown, found footage. It's really playing into all of the bad stereotypes, but when you look at it as a complete body of work, it's a very smart series. So I'm very confused why they've decided to completely turn their back on the found footage model. The trailer has a completely different feel. It's almost like a spin-off or reimagining of the original story, but they are saying it may be the most terrifying yet. I want to know what you guys think about Hell House changing up their format, and I also want to know what else you'll be watching this month from this list or elsewhere. Please let me know down in the comments. I love getting your recommendations. If you do enjoy these videos, I do them at the start of every month and everything is listed down below. If there's any changes, I will put that in the pinned comment. Thank you to my patrons for keeping my channel afloat, and thank you to you for watching. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, friends.